Good afternoon, this is Debbie Manning. Today we're going to make my grandmother's butter cake. And as the name implies, it calls for butter. 2 sticks of warmed butter, actually. When you first get the idea to make a butter cake in your head in the morning, take the butter out of the fridge and let it soften to room temp. And we add the 2 sticks of butter, then 2 cups of sugar, and 6 eggs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. A good way to do it is to have all of your ingredients all ready to go when you start mixing. So we're going to cream the butter, the eggs, and the sugar first. Wasn't that fun? Okay, we're going to add the sugar or the flour a little bit at a time so we don't make a huge mess. Stir it in real well. And when you've got that all mixed together, throw in a shot of vanilla. Have a nice thick batter when you're done. Ta-da! Now we're going to take our bundt pan that has been pre-greased and floured, and we're going to put the batter into the pan. And by the way, our oven has been warming at 350 so that it'll be nice and hot when this all goes in. I feel like I should have music playing in the background.
Want me to sing?
My audience just asked if I wanted her to sing. Okay, make sure and scrape the pan well with your spatula and get a lot of batter out, but leave enough for the audience or the kid in the house to lick the bowl. That was always a treat when grandmother made it. So you kind of even the batter out in the pan. And scrape it off. Wasn't that hard? Not at all. This is one of the easiest and best cakes there is to make. The Like I said, preheated oven at 350 degrees. And we set the timer for 60 minutes. And that's all we need to do for now. Hi, cake's ready to come out of the oven now. Ovens vary. You might want to test yours to make sure it's done, but I know mine works just right for 1 hour. I wish you could smell this wonderful cake. It's mouth-watering. So now we're going to let it cool on the cake plate for a minute. Hi, I'm going to vary from my grandmother's recipe a little bit and borrow one from Tom Perini. Tom Perini has a cowboy cookbook and he has a chuck wagon restaurant in Buffalo Gap, Texas. He's become famous for his chuck wagon cookouts, going as far as London and Japan and all over the United States, making big productions for all these different people. So his recipe for whiskey sauce is wonderful to pour over cakes or bread pudding, and that requires 1 stick of butter over medium heat. Then you take a 1/2 cup of cream, 1/2 cup of sugar, and now the best, Jack Daniels. 1/4 cup of Jack Daniels in it. And no, it's not going to make anybody drunk. And you cook that and bring it to a slow boil. Forgot my spoon. And if you do it just right, the calories all burn away too. Tom Perini has the best restaurant near Abilene, Texas. I tell you, you drive out about 12 miles south to a little town called Buffalo Gap. And in Taylor County, Texas, that was one of the first places and the closest place you could go to buy alcohol. It was illegal in most counties. When he started his chuck wagon business, he had learned and been primed on how to do it all, from his sourdough breads and biscuits to big old thick chunky steaks, by being an actual chuck wagon cook on trails. So he's just taken traditional cowboy cooking and turned it into gourmet style meals. And this sauce is one to die for. Okay. Here we go. See it bubbling across the edges here. We're going to let it get to a slow roll, and then we're going to pour it off into a bowl. There we go. As my grandmother would say, it's a boiling. That will stay and keep for several days if you let it. But another tradition that goes along with adding the whiskey sauce. Cheers. First
Drinks
of the
with
day.
friends.
Okay, proof's in the pudding, right? Time to cook it and eat it. This is an old family recipe. We've never really written it down. It's gone for 6 generations, and with apologies to Beethoven, an easy way to remember it is to go 2, 2, 2, 6. 2 sugars, 2 butters, 2 flours, and 6 eggs. And you might put a splash of vanilla. Now, I'm going to invite my audience in to put their own whiskey sauce on.
The tasting crew.
What?
All right, thank you.
It's my husband Blake again. Did you get your sauce?
Walk right in behind Debbie and we'll take a taste.
Okay.
Let's just walk right in behind Debbie. Okay, here we go.
Ready? Here we go.
Truly to die for.
Very good.
Thanks,
Debbie.
grandmother.
Very good.